everyone, this is Maddie from the Tuckerton Seaport, and I'm here today to show you our 2 sheep and goat that live at the seaport. So there you can see Salt and Pepper, our sheep, and here's Gigi, the goat. They're all enjoying some hay. So sheep and goat were some of the very first animals brought to America from Europe, and raising sheep is the oldest organized industry in the world. And sheep are used for their wool, so they're shorn about once a year typically, which means that's when they get their wool cut off. And it's used for things like yarn and making clothes. Sheep and goats are also very social animals, so they enjoy being around each other rather than being alone. And when it's safe to come back to the seaport, you can see these animals and you can even feed them. They're very friendly. In the next part of the video, I'm going to show you how you can draw some of them. So you could practice drawing some animals and really look at what our sheep look like here. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to draw a simple drawing of our 2 sheep at the seaport, Salt and Pepper. For this activity, you'll need paper and a pencil. I'm going to use a marker for some of my lines just to show you better, but pencil you can always erase. So the first thing we have to figure out for our drawing is the composition. So that means where things are placed in our photo or on our drawing. So if I look halfway across my photo, I see Pepper's nose, and then halfway vertically, I see his eye, right? So now I can go to my paper, I can go halfway, make a mark where the nose is, and then halfway this way, and a mark for the eye, which is of course going to be higher, and over more probably right here. So with those 2 marks, now I can create the shape of his face and body. So I'm going to work on that now. Alright, so you can see how I created this sort of triangle shape of the head, and then sort of went back and just created the body. For the body, I didn't just draw a line, but I just sort of made these marks so that when I go back, I can add the wool in, right? It's not a straight line, it's lots of different marks. And I can add those details later, but I have the shape. So now that I know where he is, I'm going to add some of the details like the nose and crack of the mouth. So the nose is just a little mark here, and crack of the mouth same way. Right, then while I'm here, if you didn't already draw the ear, it's a rounded shape like that with the back part coming off. And the other ear you can see really small up top like that. You can draw his head. He has a little sort of fluffy part on the top of his head, and I can add that in too. So when you're drawing with your pencil, you can really adjust the lines as you're sketching, move them around, erase anything at the end if you need to. Alright, so I have him like that for now. And then I'm going to go to the back and draw Salt. So Salt is a little bit away and farther back, a lot smaller than Pepper, right? So if I measure like this, Salt would pretty much fit inside Pepper's head the way it is now. Of course, in real life, Salt's bigger, but she's just farther back. So I'm just going to mark off where her head's going to start and end, and then her body's going to go this way, right? So since we're drawing the whole body here, I'm just going to break it into shapes. So you can see her head is kind of a circle at the top, and then kind of another oval like that connecting. to make that head shape. Then you can draw the round ears off the side. And then she's turned, so her chest is going to be another oval, like this. Then kind of a bump. And then her back sort of thigh is going to be another rounded shape like that. So you can connect those, and we have her body. Then her legs are kind of broken into shapes as well. So the back, her back leg here is kind of a triangle coming off of that thigh. And then another rectangle, but it's kind of on a curve. Then the opposite back leg we don't see as much of, comes down a little piece like that, and then same way, kind of a tilted rectangle. Front legs, really similar, but on these we can see those knees that kind of come out like circles and then go down to the hoof. Same way. So once you have this basic shape in, you can go back and erase lines you don't need, and you can sort of start to even out the shape of the sheep from this sort of sketch that you have, right? You can add details like we did for Pepper of the nose. The eyes are really close to the ears on sheep, so you can add those in, and then you can just go back and keep adjusting your lines until you get something that feels like a sheep. So now we can start to add in the background. So I see this sail shade that kind of swoops across. I can look at the different angles like that. I can create the fence behind them so it looks like they're closed in. So I can start to add these little details until I am happy with my drawing. And you can of course simplify things, add in however much you want to. You can add some of the texture of the hay down here. But you want to remember that drawing and sketching is really a practice. It's really about looking at what you're seeing and trying your best to get those shapes down. So even if it doesn't look perfectly like the photo, you're still really practicing looking, and you're practicing shapes and creating texture. So I think one of the most fun parts is to go back and create some of the textures I see in the wool. You can see I did it there. On the ground, maybe I add a bush in back here, right? So you can create all those things that are interesting to you in the background, and of course it doesn't have to be the whole thing. It is your drawing. This is a more finalized drawing that I worked on. You can see I added some darks shaded in areas. You can do that next after you're done with the initial drawing and sketching. But remember, you want to get all your parts in first and then add those details. So don't forget to send some pictures you created to the Seaport, and you can also try this activity if you did this tutorial. Maybe you have a pet at home that you have a picture of, or you could draw them from real life and practice your observational drawing skills in that way.